And each time you give yourself more and more permission to go deeper and deeper. Because like I've said before, we have the ability to heal 7 generations behind us, and we have the ability to rewrite the script for 7 generations in front of us. That starts with you. Welcome into the Conscious Coach Podcast. I'll be your guide in uncovering the path to finding your true self within. We'll dive into the power of conscious living, the significance of mindfulness, breathwork, and breaking free from hustle culture in our own personal growth. Through these intimate discussions, I'll share not only my own life experiences, but also those of remarkable individuals who have created impact in the world through becoming conscious so that you can do the same. Welcome back to the Conscious Coach Podcast. I'm here today with myself. You get a special opportunity to hear directly from me and some of my experiences that I've gone through in my life. I think most of us, probably 99% of us, don't realize how deep our healing actually goes. I know that for myself, I didn't really think that I had to heal from anything. And then it hit me like a brick when I was 24 years old. I started to deal with depression and anxiety stronger than I ever have before. And with the lives that we live in today's society, going to school and going to college and then getting a job, we aren't taught how to actually be able to heal. All these indigenous cultures, they know that growing up, trauma, emotions are a part of living. They are a part of life. They have practices to be able to heal themselves from it. They dance, they sing, they do ecstatic dances, they do plant medicine. Indigenous tribes will have their children start plant medicine when they're 5 years old. They teach them breath work. The Eastern cultures know this. But it's something about the Western culture that we don't talk about this at all. We go to school and we sit in desks for 8 hours a day, and we are never taught how to be able to use our breath, how to be able to heal, how to be able to feel our emotions. And what this causes is us all throughout our childhood years, into our teenage years, into our 20s, even our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, our 60s. And we go through all this time never learning how to be able to heal ourselves. And healing is a part of life. It is a part of the process. It's just like a process that, do you go throughout life having wounds? Do you get a cut and you have to heal from it? Absolutely. And we think that we just go throughout life and we can just go day by day and we'll be totally fine. And I know that so many of us do not feel totally fine. I know you listening to this probably don't feel totally fine. You know that you have to heal from things. And today's episode is to teach you that it's much deeper than you could ever think. Because throughout this work, what I have seen in doing breathwork sessions and these healing ceremonies with people is that many of them, pretty much every single one of them, when they come out of a session, when they come out of a ceremony, they will say to me, wow, I didn't even realize I was holding that. Wow, I didn't even know that this was affecting me so much. Wow, I cannot believe that I went through my whole entire life not even knowing that this was affecting me. And that's because we have our conscious mind. And in the society that we grow up in, we're taught how to use our logical conscious mind. That's all that we are taught how to use with math, with science. We're just taught that we are a 3D human being and we have a mind and it thinks. And that's it. We're taught how to control our thoughts, but we're not taught that we are so much more than that. And I've seen this through plant medicine, through breathwork ceremonies. I know now that I am so much more than just a 3D being with some flesh and a brain. I am way more than that. And I have the ability to completely changed my life. I have the ability to move energy. I have the ability to channel energy. I have the ability, and what I'm now tapping into, I have the ability to talk to beings that are 40, 50, 60 beings. And this might be way over your head, but you are capable of that. And we are not taught that growing up. So with that capability that we have, we also have to know that our healing is so much deeper than we could ever think it is. If you feel like you don't have anything to heal from, you do, and it might not be your healing that you have to do, but it might be a great-great-great-grandparent that you have to heal from. That self-sabotage that comes into your life, that relationship that keeps failing, those toxic relationships that keep coming into your life, they are coming into your life for a reason. If you didn't have anything to heal from, your life would be picture perfect, but that's not how it is for any of us. Life is not picture perfect. We have to continuously go into the healing process, and we have to learn how to be able to heal ourselves, release, transform, so that we can continuously evolve. Because we were put on this earth not to have a picture perfect life. We were put on this earth to learn lessons, and those lessons help us evolve into a stronger being. They help us evolve our spirit, our soul. That's why we're here. So we have to know that we are responsible to heal. And a big point that I wanted to touch on today is that your healing is so much deeper, because one of the things that we don't typically realize and we are not taught is that we hold in our DNA 7 generations behind us. And we have the ability to control ourselves what is passed down to 7 generations in front of us. So if you sit and you actually ponder on that, you can say, wow, something within my DNA could be from my great-great-great-great-great-grandpa, my great-great-great-great-grandma. And so with that, if they experienced something in their life that they did not heal from, maybe they went through a really bad childhood trauma and they were never taught how to be able to release it. That got passed down each generation. And that, if your great-great-great-grandpa didn't heal from it, your great-great-grandpa, your great-great, your so many greats, but your great-grandpa didn't heal from it, and it kept getting passed down, and the cycle kept repeating in your family lineage, and then it got passed down to you. Something that is showing up in the physical world right now could be something that evolved and happened 7 generations behind you, and it's showing up from you. This could be a self-sabotage tendency that you have. This could be the toxic relationships that you keep getting into, the same type of people that keep showing up into your life, feeling like you're stuck, feeling anxious. This could be something that is manifesting in our physical realm that was passed down to you from 5, 6 generations before. So it is your responsibility to heal that, to break that cycle, if you want to live the life that you desire. If you want to have beautiful relationships, abundance, you want to have a beautiful career, you want to help this world, well, then you're going to have to heal. And you don't necessarily have to know exactly what it is that you have to heal from, but we have to know that we have to make our healing process a practice. It is something that we continuously have to do, because each time we go deeper, we see what we're holding on to. I know that for myself, when I go into breathwork sessions now, it's not, I might have something coming up in my life. I know that this past week I had a scarcity wound that was really showing itself. I had some things come up with clients and within my relationship that was really bringing that scarcity wound up. And I was like, oh, wow, all right, this is really showing itself. I need to sit with this. So in the past, what I would do is I would react to it. I would reach out to those clients, try to make it all okay. I would reach out to my partner, try to make it all okay. But instead, I went back to my practices. In this room, actually, I did a somatic breathwork session with myself. And I saw that what I was holding on to, this scarcity wound, was not something that I evolved. It was actually something that was passed down on the feminine side of my family from about 3 generations before me. And it was passed down to my grandma, and it was passed down to my mom, and it was passed down to me. And I was able to see that through the breathwork session. I was able to see, wow, okay, my great grandma had something. I couldn't see it clearly, but I just knew. She had something that she manifested, or something happened to her in her life that she went through that involves scarcity that she held inside of her and she passed down. And that was inside of me. So I was able to recognize it, become aware of it, and using my breath, I felt into it. I tapped. It was heavily in my heart space. It was heavily in my heart chakra. That's a huge energy center. I felt into it and I tapped into that area in myself, and I decided I'm going to let this go. I gave forgiveness to the feminine side of my family. I said, it's not yours to hold. This is not ours to hold. And I just used my breath and I cleared it out more and more. And I was vocal and I felt myself release. I felt myself release. I felt myself release. And then it was like and I felt so light and I felt so good. And I saw that wasn't going to hold me back any longer. That scarcity wound wasn't going to keep showing itself. Instead, I'm now going to create a new identity around that. I'm going to go for abundance. And that's what I was able to see as I went into the second part of the session where we repattern. I said to myself, I'm not going to hold this inside of me any longer. I'm going to go towards abundance. I'm going to rewrite the script for my family so that my children don't carry this scarcity wound. Their children don't carry this scarcity wound. I'm going to decide to break this cycle, and I'm going to focus towards abundance, because abundance is something that I'm heavily working towards in my life, because I know that I deserve it, but there has been some things that come up, deep scarcity, that keep me from it. But the thing is, I know that it's not mine. I know that as you do through this healing process, you'll feel the same way. I know it's not mine. I know that it's been passed down, and I feel that. So I'm going into the deep healing work to repattern it, to see where it came from, which I have been and did. And now I'm going to rewrite that script. So for yourself, you might have these tendencies and these patterns that come up into your physical realm, that you think about them. Maybe I know that for myself, like if I'm going to purchase something, there's that voice in my head like, oh, you can't afford that. No, you don't deserve that. Oh, you got this thing and this thing and this thing to pay for. I don't think you should do that. And I know that that's not mine, and it comes from somewhere. So you might relate to that. That might be something when you get into a relationship. Like, I know this person's really not good for me, but I need them. I know that this job doesn't serve me, but I need it. I need to get by. I know that I don't really resonate with the clients that I'm working with, but I need this money. Where does that come from? And so when we go into this deep healing work, we're actually able to see how deep it actually goes. And that's my main message to you today, is that you probably don't recognize how deep your healing actually goes. And so developing a practice where you continuously go into the deep work. If you're wanting to create the life that you wish for yourself, you have to develop a practice to keep going into this deep work. You have to keep going within. It's not something where when your life gets into shambles, you just start, then you go and do plant medicine, then you find a breathwork session. No, it's something to continuously do. It's just like you have your hygiene practices at night. You have your morning routine. Develop a routine where you do the deep work, because it's your responsibility, and it's so many of ours in today's day and age, because all of us have to heal. Our parents grew up through a really tough time where they were taught that they had to just go work a job, and they weren't really taught what love was, and no one was really taught what love was. So we're in a time where we need to do a lot of healing, not only for ourselves, but for the past generations, and also for the generations that come before us. And we have to allow ourselves to go deeper and deeper. So it's developing a practice where you continuously do the deep work. Maybe it's once a week you go to a meditation session. Maybe it's once a week you go to a breathwork session. Maybe it's once a quarter you do a plant medicine ceremony. And so that you take on that responsibility to heal the 7 generations behind you, because you have that capability when we do the deep work. We go into this realm where time isn't a thing any longer. And we have the ability to do the healing for those generations behind us because it's within you. It's in your DNA. And you also have the ability to do the healing for the generations in front of you so that you don't pass down what you have carried to them. So develop that practice and keep going within because you'll see how deep it actually goes. And with seeing how deep it actually goes, and you'll say, wow, I didn't realize I was holding on to that. That's also extremely liberating. Like, oh my God, I can do this deep healing work and I can rewrite the script. I can break the cycle. I can change the directory of my family and my lineage and my life, all just by going within and doing the deep work. So I encourage you to see how deep it goes for yourself and to develop some sort of practice where you go within yourself continuously. And each time you give yourself more and more permission to go deeper and deeper. Because like I've said before, we have the ability to heal 7 generations behind us, and we have the ability to rewrite the script for 7 generations in front of us. That starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with you going and seeing what you're holding on to, allowing yourself to release it, face your shadows, face the darkness, so that you can find more light in your life. And some of those practices, as I've mentioned before, can be somatic breath work. They can be going to Reiki sessions. It can be meditation. It can be developing a simple breathwork practice. If you're just starting out, a simple meditation practice. It can be plant medicine. There are so many avenues. I know that for myself, I do somatic breathwork, I do energy healing, I do Reiki, and I do plant medicine. Those are my practices. I will probably 3 to 4 times a month do a deep breath work, a deep somatic breath work session. I will do 30 minutes of breath work every single morning, some form of breath work, meditation, tapping, self-Reiki, release practice. If I'm feeling like I have something to let go of, I will do it throughout the day as well. And then I'll meditate for 15 to 30 minutes at night. That's what my practice looks like daily. And then I will find practitioners and people in my community, and I will go to their classes probably 2 to 4 times a month. I do that. I make sure that I go and I make time for that. And then I will also do plant medicine, like a big ceremony, about every quarter of the month. I've been learning more about Bufo and have become a facilitator in that, so I've been doing it more. But about every quarter. Right now I'm feeling more called towards Bufo and psilocybin, and also MDMA paired with psilocybin. That's been really transformative. And I had a really deep ceremony about a week and a half ago where I saw a lot about myself, a lot of what my true gifts were. As you keep doing the healing work, you're going to release what's holding you back, and you're going to tap into your true gifts, why you were really put on this earth. You'll find that. So that's what my practice looks like right now. And I encourage you to find your practice. And as always, if you need more help with this, you can reach out and send me a message on Instagram, and just ask me like, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, and I would like to find a practice that helps me, and I can definitely help you with that. So find your practice, keep going within, and see how deep your healing goes. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, if you're watching this, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening this, please give a 5-star review. It means the world. And share it with a friend. Share it with a friend that can resonate with the message here. I am sending you my love, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you're listening, leave a 5-star review. I also wanted to let you know I just released a subscription that is Becoming Conscious. You get access to guided breathwork recordings as well as guided meditations from 5 minutes all the way up to 60 so that you can start living a more conscious life. You can click down in the description and you'll get access to it for free for 7 days. I hope that you enjoy. I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.